a shaver that will not hold a charge. I'm going to try and see what it uses as power source and if it's something we can reasonably replace. Looks like the obvious point of attack is these two screws in the back. Look like about actually they're combo, both slot and Torx. Smaller than T9, or smaller than T10. T9 seems about right, so let's try it with those. See what we find. They're long. Probably go right through the device and engage into the front. Now, does it come open? Yeah, here we go. Back comes off and we find more screws. Seem to be the same head, the combo slot and Torx. These are long too. They may even be the same screws. Look like it. Now, what comes open now? Got some motion. The side grips are coming off. Probably helps. Yeah, it all comes apart. Nice little circuit board. It's conformally coated to protect it from moisture. Good idea for something in a bathroom. And it's clearly marked as an IMH cell. And it's connected to tabs at each end that just point down into the circuit board. So the next is I need to go find an IMH cell and get tabs on it in the same orientation, which I can do at my local battery store. Okay, went to the local battery store, had them make up a matching cell, AA size in IMH with tabs on it pointing the same direction. So now the next trick is to install that into the shaver. So first, we're going to try to unsolder the old cell. The positive end is toward the head of the shaver. That's good to remember. So we can put the other one in the same orientation. Fiddly work. I'm going to put on my glasses for fiddly work. Solder seems to be melting nicely, but the battery is not coming out. There doesn't appear to be anything else holding it in position. I don't think this plastic tray comes out with it. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Get some of the excess solder out of the way. Don't want to melt the case while I'm melting the solder. Okay, looks like the tab is bent over a little bit to hold it in place. Perhaps a small screwdriver to straighten it out. This is not going as well as I hoped. There, levered it up some with a soldering iron tip. Let's see if it'll come free now. These tabs are a lot stronger than I'm used to. I'm used to them being thin nickel, like the one I had attached to the replacement cell. There, got one end out. That should make getting the other end out easier. Put some fresh solder on the iron to get a good thermal connection to the joint. There. Old cell is out. Let's clean up these a little bit so it's easy to get the new one in. I'm going to run my iron a little bit hotter. I suspect this is lead-free solder, which melts at a higher temperature and is just a little less forgiving to work with in general. Perhaps a little support would help. It's easier to work on things if they'll hold still. There, that one's fairly clean now. Little cleanup on the other one, and hopefully we can get the other cell in place. The solder sucker tends to clog fairly quickly with solder, but otherwise does a good job. Just got to remember to keep it cleared. And this joint's heating up really slowly. I suspect it connects to an internal layer in the circuit board, which gives a good connection, but absorbs the heat and makes it harder for the iron to do its work. This one is not marked. I suspect the button end is the positive end, but it's worth checking. So red probe to the button end. I could about positive 1.2 volts. So yep, that's positive end. So we will install it in the same orientation as the other one. Positive end toward the head, negative end the other way. I had them put fairly narrow tabs on these, but they are still too wide, which is a little annoying, but we can fix it. I'm just going to slim them down a little bit using these bandage scissors. Let's see how that fits. Yeah, they get through there. I can use these pliers to snug them up a little, because I want there to be room for the cell to sit where it needs to sit, and the case will still assemble. And solder the new tabs in place with nice, friendly, well-behaved lead-based solder. Those look good. Turn off the iron, put away the extra tools. Now in this configuration, actually one thing I should do is snip off the tails of these solder tabs. I don't want them to bend over and short circuit on anything. There. Now it should operate like this. The button on the front, phone call. Sorry about that, had a phone call, but we're back now. So as I was saying, the button here presumably pushes the button here to turn the shaver on. And in this configuration it should operate, so I'm going to try pushing the button and see if it comes on. Yep, looks fine. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reassembling it. And this board lays down here, and this just folds up over it like that. And the first screws go back in. I remember those have taken a Torx T9. So we'll put that tip on here and it engages nicely. These screws take a bit of turning. Why don't we use our automatic screwdriver? Much better. Okay, so now the button should work, which it does. The trick now is to assemble the rest of it. Side grips need to go in. You have a bunch of little catches and protrusions that engage the rest of the case. So I'm going to fiddle them until they feel like they've properly engaged. And the back goes on over the charging port. And then up under the top. Don't think I have this grip in entirely right. The other one looks well seated. Let's see if we can get that to fit together properly. I may have to pry this off and reseat that. The whole thing is a little fiddly. Oh, that's still not right. See if we can figure out where all these catches have to be. I see the problem. There's a hook in the very back that has to fit over the front case before the rest of it will go in and line up. Hopefully that's right. Yeah, that seems good. So 2 more screws and we can call this repair done. And I won't have to recharge my shaver every time I use it, which was getting old. Seems happy. I'm going to call that a successful repair. Thanks for watching.